All right. Today is Friday, February 24th. And today I had one of the worst trading days I've had in a while. Not in terms of monetary loss. I have lost significantly more than this. But today, I did everything wrong. Today should be a perfect learning day today. As I was chasing, I had no setups. I was in a bad mental state. I had appointments today, and I was not trusting the trades and getting in way too late and not getting in when I should have. So hopefully we can learn a little bit today about what I have done wrong. Okay, so first we will go with this first trade here. So what we are looking at is right off of the beginning of the day, we had a big sell-off, and we were at a support zone, a demand zone down here at 39.49, roughly in this area. What I was looking for was a bounce, and I did kind of have a plan. My original plan was, and I can show you on this right here, my original plan was to play off of, where it's a short target, to play off of the 39.50 zone, and to target 39.75 here. And this actually would have been a decent plan. I didn't have a plan going into today, but after the sell-off off of this level here, if we go back to the 4-hour time frame, we can see that the not the 4-hour, that this level right here, actually, let me go back to the 15-minute. Here we go. So this level, and the reason this was my plan was because on the 15-minute time zone and really just last trading day, we had a major support level at 39.75. So I'm looking at this, we had broken through that in the overnight session. We had hit a new low, and so I was expecting a retest of that level that we had broken here, which in theory worked out perfect. Now the execution was what shot me in the foot. So again, plan was to get in on the low of day, played long, and to retest this level at 39.75, which I even told myself this is where I want to be. These are the trades that I want to make. What ended up happening was poor execution on my end. So we can go to, I'm going to scoot back over. But one thing I want to draw attention to here, this is the same level at the 39.50 level right here. What I want to draw attention to is how many attempts we had down here. I mean, we spent the better part of an hour at this low, not making any progress any lower. So I felt pretty good about actually taking a long position. The only problem is I just got in at the wrong time. In hindsight, obviously, I could have waited because my target was reached up here. And I was maybe one bullish move, and I was 2 bullish moves off of actually having my plan work out. I wish in hindsight I would have kind of stuck with this a little bit better, but what's really, really bad is I had multiple entries. This one, I stopped myself out at $15, and I attempted to get into the same trade, which is just absolutely crazy to me. The next trade I took was still another re-entry attempt, and it was on the very next move up. So as you can see, this was the very next bump. My first entry attempt was right here. My second entry attempt was on the very next bullish move up, and I'm getting faked out like crazy at this point. Really upset at the turnaround. I was so certain that my plan was going to work. I even had a third attempt. Now this attempt, unfortunately, timing-wise, I missed the entire move, which after the first two, I was just so uncertain about it that I just couldn't trust my plan And just, after the first two attempts that failed, I was just, that really threw me for a loop mentally. And so this trade, if you look up here, I didn't make this trade until the entire move all the way from 39.50 to 39.75 was made. An entire 25-point move that I actually planned using the 15-minute chart and using the 39.75 rejection earlier in the day, and all of the confirmation that we weren't moving and everything, all the buyers were buying everything up down here. With all of that confirmation, I still, in the two failed attempts, I still did not trust my plan, and I shot myself in the foot. I had two failed entries, and then I don't get in. I get in for a small $17 scalp at the end of the move. So I'm upset with myself. I'm not upset that I'm losing money. I'm just upset at my psychology. I'm upset in the process, and it's hard for me. This is extremely hard, and I want to be transparent. You can be right in theory. You can be right about the plays that you have. You can have your plan in place. And it still comes down to execution at the end of the day. It comes into your entries. It comes into using your other confirmations like volume, and just seeing patterns play out. And I didn't see it, and I didn't trust it all the way up. I mean, this was it started moving at 11, and I didn't get in till 11:42. So I saw 42 minutes of bullish action, and I still wasn't convinced that my plan was going to work. In hindsight, maybe had we broken 39.60, broken these previous highs, that would have been convincing enough, but those first two entries just really scared me away. So I'm going to learn from that, understand that this was, 25 points here left on the table. I don't know how much money that is, maybe 150, 200 bucks off of one contract, had I just stuck to my plan and followed through. So the rest of the day was a series of me revenge trading. Just classic revenge trading. I was upset that I missed the move, and I continued to struggle and chased. So look at this nonsense. At the top of this move, I was longing. At the very top, I even had a resistance level, and I had a profit target and a resistance level at 39.75, and I still tried to long. It hurts. It hurts. Just revenge trading, chasing. And this is what happens when you mentally fall apart and you feel like you've got to chase and chase and chase to try to make that money. The very next trade, same thing. This time, I waited. So here's the top of this big move all the way up to 39.75. And then, what do you know, we had another, 11.50 to another hour-long move down. And I didn't get in until the very bottom on a short position. I've got to be better. This is embarrassing to miss an entire move. Well, actually, in hindsight, my meeting was at 12. I was in a meeting this whole time. But this was, sure enough, right at 12:01 or 12:09. As soon as my meeting was done, I got in to try to chase. Yep. Okay, so I don't feel as bad about that move, but still chasing short at the bottom of a move. Again, at pretty much near, this resistance level right here. Or this support level right here, right off of the morning. That should have been an intraday support level I recognized, and I didn't catch it. I was so focused on this bottom, the 39.50, that I didn't recognize the 39.53. So that's a clear mistake. I should be considering intraday resistance and support support and resistance and supply and demand zones. I got to be better about that. Let's see the next trade. Another small loss. I'll let you guess what happened. So after this large move south, I'm thinking, this is going to be a similar check back, and I thought we were going to head back down to this 39.50 level. We head up here. This is still a lower high. And we get down here, and this is a it's a higher low, but I'm still thinking in larger terms. But for today, it's a higher low and at a resistance and a support level. I'm thinking we're going to keep going south, and sure enough, I get trapped. I take a short position to try to follow this down and the breakthrough of this low to get back down to 39.50. Looking back on this, it's just nonsense, the kind of positions I'm getting into. And even in this position right here, I get in at the very bottom. It's one thing if I get in here and I'm shorting just a quick scalp, for a couple of points here, like that would be one thing. But I'm shorting at the very bottom of this, hoping to break these lows, and not even once thinking that this now is probably going to put us into an uptrend, and that we had support level here, intraday support level at that same point. Oh my God. Okay, just going to move on to the next one. Last trade of the day. This one, I was just tired. I was done. After that failed short here, I chased along, and in hindsight, I could have kept it. I got out on the exact same candle that I entered. I don't think that was a stop. You know what? I think it was a stop. Yeah, it was a stop because it's exactly $5. So I got stopped out in this position. That could have been a decent move because, if we look at the rest of the day, a lot of very, very clear moves today and just no trust, no plan. It's tough. It's tough. But that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm charting everything. That's why I'm making these videos, to keep myself accountable. I have to be better. I have to be able to recognize these intraday levels here. Let me zoom. I have to be able to recognize these intraday levels. This support level here. Same support level we bounced here. Didn't recognize it. I had a decent plan off of the original rejection off of 39.75. My plan was to play the lows, play long as a retest from yesterday's lows. Didn't trust the plan. Messed up on not recognizing intraday support levels. And then mentally fell apart trying to chase everything to make that money back. So, it's Friday. I've got a lot to think about this weekend, a lot of studying to do, a lot of courses. It is what it is. This is trading, I've got to be able to learn from this. I've got to be able to grow. I've got to be able to continue to educate myself and use these losses as education and these videos to be able to look at myself and say, look at you, look at your mental state, how non-prepared you are, how unmentally disciplined you are, chasing everything, and it's got to be better. That's why I'm doing it. Have a great weekend, guys. Peace.